What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Underdog Reacts and I watched Psycho from 1998. This is the remake of the original movie from Alfred Hitchcock with the tagline, check in, relax, take a shower. You know, it's funny how one movie can have, one story can have two sides, basically of the same coin, you know? As in, the coin is the novel or Psycho or book Psycho, you know? And the one half of the coin is Alfred Hitchcock's version, and the other half of the coin is this version. And with that I mean also there's a good one and there's a shitty one. It's funny how that is possible. And well, I maybe will bring it to the channel. I've seen the movie once, but 12 Angry Men is the same. You know, you have that movie and it's two sides of the same coin. You know, you have a good side, the original, and you have the shitty side, the remake. It's the same story, but just made by two different people. And obviously different actors. But, you know, and this movie was another good example of that. So let's just start with the movie because we have shit to talk about. We fly over Phoenix, Arizona. You know, we see the city, and with the tower, and the camera flies past and goes straight to an hotel. And it flies towards the window, and this is without cutting, so it's, I don't know how they did it, but it looked pretty nice. I have to say that, you know, props to that, because that looks pretty nice. Alfred Hitchcock had different cuts, you know, before we saw the window. But this was just a straight one take fly towards the window, and going towards that space between the opening of the window, and we see the room inside. We see the lamp straight in front of us, well, not in front of the window but across the room, you know, straight there. And there to the right of it we see the bed, and the camera goes in and goes towards the bed where we see Sam and Marion laying in bed. And the camera goes up, and we have now, you know, Sam rolls over, he hugs Marion, kisses her, and we have now a close up of their faces. You know, he looking at her, she looks at him, you know, and that's the close up. And we're gonna leave it at that, because if you don't know what's gonna happen next, watch the movie yourself. So let's talk shit about this movie. First of all, Marion's haircut. Before they say it's December 11th, 1998, which is funny because, you know, I don't know if they said the year in the original, well, in the Alfred Hitchcock version, but in this one it's the year that this movie came out, and this movie came out on, well, it says here December 4th in the US. So, you know, no, nice Christmas movie. See, is because it's now in December, does it mean this is also a Christmas movie? Don't think so. But the haircut, I personally I didn't like it. It didn't suit her very well. Um, it was so flat. And I like it a bit more. Okay, it's also because it's different years, obviously. 1960, 1998. You know, 38 years in between. So hairstyles are totally different. So going then with the year, uh, it, that was probably it was the year that I was born. I was when this movie came out. I was a few months old because I was born on April 30th. So was maybe 7 months and 4 days. So I obviously don't know what the haircuts really were like in that year because I was just born. Um, Even though I like all the haircuts. I just the original Psycho. The haircut I found it more pretty. I found it prettier. Um, Vince Vaughn as Norman Bates. Vince Vaughn, great actor, like him as an actor. This movie was just not for him. Well, the role was maybe not for him, but yeah, he. This Norman Bates wasn't as awkward. You know, he didn't look as awkward around women than Anthony Perkins did. It, you know, it just he didn't really live up to the Anthony Perkins Norman Bates, and that's just if you compare them, and that's basically what I'm gonna do. Sorry. Mother's voice is maybe the same one. Maybe. I don't know for sure, but there is a chance that it's the same voice from Mother. A chance. I don't know for sure, but it would be cool if it was. When Marion was checked in the Bates Motel, she got room number 1 because that's the story, and then it was peeping Tom time for Norman. He took the thing away. He looked inside when she was in the bathroom, and he started to jack off. I don't remember the 1960 doing jack off, but it's 1960, so obviously they wouldn't show that in that movie. Obviously, so it was kind of a surprise that we saw Vince Vaughn's Norman Bates jack off. That was kind of a surprise, because I didn't expect that. This is just something that I don't understand. We're in the Bates kitchen, upstairs in the house. But we hear the shower in room number 1. In cabin number 1. How? I think that they didn't use the original set for this movie, the original Psycho set, because the house looked also a bit different. You know, it just didn't look like the Psycho house when we got the up close shot, from it. But how did we hear the shower? And then we always hear also in the original franchise we hear Norman argue with his mother upstairs in the house while we're downstairs in a motel. Okay, that's maybe possible because you're screaming, but then there's this. In this movie, a bit near the end, when Lila, the sister of Marion, goes inside the house, she walks upstairs and kind of yells, "Miss Bates." So why didn't Sam and Norman hear that when they were standing in the office from or the check-in, the check-in area of the motel? Why didn't they hear that? Yes, they were talking to each other, but if you're screaming kind of or yelling, you should have heard it otherwise, because if you can hear them argue that loud, then that should also be, by that logic, be hearable, be audible, whatever, be able to hear, just like the showers. The song, the Bates, not the Bates, but the stabbing song, they used it too much, way too much. They used it 4 or 5 times in this movie. That's too much. They use it for things that it's actually not necessary. For scary information. Why? Use some different sound. Not that all the fucking time. They even used it before the actual shower scene. And in the shower scene, it was maybe 3 minutes before the shower scene, they used that music, because she was writing something down. She was calculating, if I pay this off, with the money that I just stole, the $4,000, and then she ripped it up, and then while she was writing. But why? Then 3 minutes later, the stabbing scene, the music came again. Okay, there I get it, because I get that, because that's the famous stabbing music. But why do you use it beforehand, and why do you use it multiple times for things that don't even include death, but just some scary information maybe, or a transition? When we see Norman walk, we see Norman Bates walk by the Bates Motel, and we hear the music, and then the private detective Arbogast comes driving up. But it's not unnecessary for that scene, in my opinion. They just use it too much. Lila went when Sam talked to Norman, to distract him for Lila to go inside the house. She went, instead of going to the front, and then through the stairs, she went around the back. But when she stepped off the porch of the motel, the house was right there, straight right there on top, and it was not even that far up. There I thought from, right, how is this house so close? And maybe this is not the same same set as the original Psycho, because in my opinion this was really, really close. Come on. But maybe it was the same set and it was just a different angle. You know, that's also possible. But I don't think it was the same set. But I don't know for sure. Yeah. Oh yeah, at the end of the film, you know, when they were talking when he was arrested, the psychiatrist came in, talked to Norman, and then talked to everybody else, and saying from what happened actually with Norman. You know, for, oh yeah, he's a double personality, your mother and him, yada yada yada, and the music too loud. The music was really loud, and the dialogue was normal, just normal talking, but the music was so loud that without subtitles I don't even think that I could understand what the fuck they were saying. Well, the, who uh, who said that was okay? You know, who watched that part of the movie? You know, while they were making it, and said from yeah, that's okay. Who approved that? I mean, you know, who approved that? I don't get it because it was really too loud. That's basically it. That's basically my shitting on this movie because, like I said, you know, same coin, different sides. Alfred Hitchcock version, the original version of the film. You know, because I know this is from a book or novel. Yeah, that's the actual original version. But we're talking about movies. So the original. If I'm talking about the original version, I'm talking about the movies. So yeah, the original version of Alfred Hitchcock, you know, it's just I gave the 5 out of 5 because it's just a 5 out of 5. It's just a really good movie. This version, on the other hand, is shit. Some movies shouldn't be remade, or just maybe a bit later with better. I don't know, something better, you know, because this movie just didn't deliver, and it really shit on Psycho, you know. Not as in, you know, for oh, they, you know, talking bad about it. No, it's just a shit movie. So it's just bad. I think I will give this movie 1/5 because this movie is just shit. You know, it was not that bad that I couldn't watch it, but it just, you know, if you have seen original Psycho, this movie is just utter shit. But I'm gonna leave that. Leave likes, recommend a good, find fun movie down below in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, come join Discord, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. But don't watch this movie, please. Watch the original, it's way better.